singing, that was beautiful.
La 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 la. Nice wet Wednesday, mate.
You can introduce it.
I'm trying to switch my phone off because it's pandering. So, fourth vlog of our vlog series. Another week has passed. We're at Wednesday now, aren't we? It's pouring down with rain.
Yeah.
I thought we'd come up with a couple of topics to talk about this this week.
Yeah.
Talk about holiday season. So at the moment there are a lot of clients on holiday, which kind of disrupts the recruitment process.
Yeah.
And then what did you want to talk about?
I was going to talk about how candidates need to be managing the job application process at the moment, because it's probably a very different time to a lot of us have seen in applying for jobs. So I think there's a few really good hints and tips that we've developed that will help people go through that process.
Okay. Yep.
So I think that'll be good to get over. So I suppose, it just leads nicely into, it's obviously holiday season.
Yep.
So I guess what's your take on that? What are you seeing?
Yeah, so I'm talking to individuals, both that we're representing and individuals that are applying directly with clients out there who are doing their direct attraction. And I guess we see it every year. We've been in it long enough to know that this is the kind of time where individuals don't hear back.
Yep.
Or we work a process, and then one of the main things that we talk about when we're working with our customers is assessing when will we get that feedback. So there's typically situations where companies will go through half a process and then go, right, we're on leave, won't come back, won't have feedback for another week or so until, and they need to be aware that actually, is it something that actually is worth holding fire on until you return back to work to finish the process off? It can be stalled at, we want to see this person, hold on a minute, we're on a holiday for a week, or done the first round of interviewing, okay, we'll give you feedback when I come back.
Yep.
Okay. So individuals that are applying directly, they need to be mindful that sometimes when I talk to them, they sort of say, I haven't heard back. It may be that they're on holiday. It might be worth going to HR or other areas of the business to try and find out where said individual is gone or what the situation is of the recruitment. We try to push our customers to say, wait till you come back, or or at least give us some feedback before they go on holiday, because it just keeps people bought into the process, I believe. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a challenge. Everyone everyone needs holiday. So I don't think anyone has an issue with it, but it just needs to be pre-handled up front. So if we're going to say to people, look, here's the interview process, it's a 2 or 3 stage interview process, but one of the hiring managers is away on holiday for a period of time in that, everybody knows. So everybody can manage their diary and manage their expectations. I think to your point, it's better to keep a slick process. So keep it as condensed as you can do. So ideally 24 to 48 hours between each interview stage. If you want them to do a presentation, I always like to put a weekend in between the first stage and their presentation, just to give them enough time to prepare that. But I think it's about pre-planning that, and not just springing on a candidate going, oh, sorry, we're not going to hearing your feedback now for a week, 10, 14 days, because it just looks really poor. And if companies aren't getting that right, it kind of makes the candidate think, well, what else are they going to get wrong? Because as we said in our last vlog, interviewing is very much a two-way street. It's 50% of the client making sure the candidate's right for them, but then the other 50% is making sure the candidate is right for the client. Yeah,
and I think if individuals are going through other agencies, it's worth asking those recruiters, is there anything that could stall the process? Is the hiring manager on holiday for a set period of time during this recruitment process? The recruiter might sort of say, I'm not really sure, and push the recruiter to go back to the client to say, it's a good question. So at least you've got time scales.
And then I think it allows you to manage the other processes you're in as well, because if you're one process which is motoring, you really like the other job, but you can flag from the outset that, look, this process is going to take 3 weeks rather than your 2-week process. And again, everybody knows, so there'll be no pressure put on you to make a decision without having all of the facts in place. So I think that's important.
Okay.
And I think then the other thing, sort of the flip side, talking about clients, is candidates. And we're all seeing at the moment, more people are coming to the market, whether that be through they're still on furlough, but they're concerned about the sort of sustainability of their company. And again, unfortunately, now we are starting to see redundancies happen and more candidates coming to the market as well.
Yeah.
So a prime example, we've got a role at the moment, we're advertising. Typically, we'd probably expect to see somewhere between 15 to 20 applicants for a role like that. Whereas now, we're probably getting anywhere to up to sort of 40 applicants. But the quality, in my opinion, of those applications still isn't any better, if you'd like. Just because we're getting 40 people through doesn't all of a sudden mean then we've got 20 brilliant candidates we can put forward. I'm seeing candidates just applying for any and every job, and we've heard people say this to us: I just need a job at the moment. And I get people who've got mortgages to pay, rent to pay, food to put on tables. So having a job is clearly very important.
Yeah.
But take a step back and think about it from much more of a strategic perspective. Only apply for the relevant jobs. Take your time to tailor your CV to what you know the company's looking for, because it's on the job application. Look at your LinkedIn connections. Do you know anybody who works there or who worked there who can maybe give you some insight into what the company's like, what their values are, what their culture is? So again, you can tweak your CV, and if you do get an interview, you can make sure that you mirror their values. Speak to recruiters, whether that be you or I or the plethora of other recruitment firms out there, because the likelihood is either they've either placed somebody into that business or they've worked with somebody who's come out of that business. So again, they can give you some really good, solid insight into that company.
And it's a false economy in that respect, because as mentioned before, it's that whole just need a job syndrome. It's kind of individuals sort of say to us, I can do that job standing on my head. Well, it's kind of the worst phrase, because actually it is a false economy. Individuals will take a job. Companies think they're onto a winner because they've got someone well overqualified for a role, and then it will just implode in 6 months' time. People will just turn around and go, actually, it's not quite the role I wanted. And when the market picks up, they'll be looking again. So it's really difficult, Carl, to just, and it's hard. It's easy for us to sit here and go, you've got mortgages to pay, all that, but they do, and so but it comes across more professional if you're able to tailor your CV, go for something that's really relevant in your skill set, and do your background research on the company, find out about the culture if that's right, because it may be a time where companies that are advertising directly will think they're onto a winner by getting someone overqualified, and I don't think they will be.
And I think there's that old saying, isn't it? People want what they can't have. So I think if you're this elusive candidate that isn't active on every single job board, if you'd like, sending your CV out to every single job out there, I think clients prefer that, if you like. They want to feel like they're getting something that nobody else has or can have. I think that's it. It's a wrap.
Thank you.